try. No hell below us, above us only sky.
Okay.
Welcome.
Great.
Welcome to the 242nd episode of VFI Educates, which we began in June of the year 2000. As Alana so brilliantly elucidated, the role of this Educates is to bring Americans to Israel, as opposed to Americans going to Israel. But, however, many of us have volunteered, as Alana pointed out, and many of us have done it with IDF service or touring. I will speak for a couple of minutes, just bringing a couple of updates, things that are very current that are happening, and then we'll turn over to Alana to introduce our guest today, and then we'll probably have Q&A at the end.
Or during,
whatever is convenient. You can certainly
type it.
Bear in mind that this is being recorded. It will be up on YouTube in a couple of days, along with 250 other episodes. And you're all welcome to view it. Plus, if you like, you can caption or read the captions. Just set caption active at the bottom of your Zoom screen. I hope everybody is detoxing from the election. We're going to ignore all that for today and get on with real life. First thing is that the VFI website has been renewed. For those who may not have been there recently, it is vfi-usa.org. And it has been upgraded substantially. It now contains 6 separate projects or programs. And right now, as we speak, we have about a dozen volunteers in Israel doing 2 programs. One of them is the hospital rehab program at Youth Medical Center in Tel Aviv. And the second one is working on the archaeology program, which will involve the second week of volunteering at the Gaza envelope, restoring buildings that were damaged. That's active right now. We have a bunch of people staged to leave for Israel in about a week, I think. I think they're all volunteering at the Youth Medical Center. Now, on our website, if you look at each of the 6 separate programs, we have dates for most of them going into 2025. Very soon, perhaps this week, we'll have more dates in 2025 going all the way to the end. Currently, we carry our dates until June for the rehab program. If you're interested, the process we use is really simple. There is no amount of money you have to spend registering. What you have to do, however, is sign up. And you do that in an application, which is right on the website, and we request a deposit. The deposit is fully refundable should things go haywire, and the deposit amount is $500, but that applies 100% to the expenses incurred in the overall program. Our programs run from 9 days to 17 days in length, and they're relatively flexible. Every program involves touring with Julia. Julia is probably not going to be with us today, but she is a genius tour guide, and she's excellent at making sure that everybody is happy. Each tour group gets their own WhatsApp grouping, and I have been monitoring the 2 WhatsApps that are active right now, and those people are having a blast, and it's making me very jealous. And I'm listening in every day to their activities, and it's just keeping me alive. So the website is active, 6 programs carrying us to 2025, and we welcome your visitation to it. Secondly, VFI is undergoing a transformation into higher levels of automation using a program from a company called Galaxy. We will be installing this over the course of the next 2 or 3 months, and it involves automating many of the processes internally, back office, and also the volunteer signer process will be online as opposed to filling out a piece of paper. That process is underway. Alana is deeply involved with it, and we're looking forward to that coming up in the next 2 months or so. We will be offering on our website shortly a unique new offering. We just had an agreement this week with an outfit that is going to offer Hebrew lessons. And the way we're going to do it is they offer a quickie Hebrew learning process, which you might want to look at before you volunteer, just to get a bit fluent in Hebrew, nothing too heavy. And they've made a special price arrangement with us. So the instructions will be on the website. It'll basically be a fee of $99, which is deeply discounted from what they usually charge for this program. And you can learn Hebrew over the course of 3 months, a couple of minutes basically a day. It's a very professional process, and we'll look forward to people doing that on a voluntary basis. You do not need Hebrew, in our experience in Israel, and everybody pretty well speaks a good amount of English. I think that's the oversight I have at the moment. So at this point, if anybody has any question specifically about volunteering or about anything I've said, just raise your hand. I'll be glad to respond. And if not, I will turn our program over to Ilana.
Okay, I'm going to mute everyone. If you're going to be speaking,
got one question.
Go ahead.
Huh?
There's somebody raised their hand.
Oh, I don't see any raised hands now. Whoever it was, did you have a question for before the program?
Well, we'll still be here.
Ask your question.
Oh, it's Barbara. It's Barbara. We can't hear you. You're not muted, but there's no sound. Barbara, could you type it into the chat? Is it okay for us to start with the program? Thumbs up. Okay, great. All right, so I'll mute everyone. If you're going to be speaking, please unmute yourself. Okay. All right. So I just want to introduce our two speakers today. We have Hadar Ashuach. He's a 23, I just made you older. Sorry, a 23-year-old Israeli entrepreneur who made significant strides in the tech industry. He's recognized as one of Israel's most influential teenagers. You don't look like a teenager. He led multiple startups, including serving as CEO of Ad Freeway, an advanced advertising technology company. Drawing on his entrepreneurial expertise, Hadar founded Digital Iron Dome, which we're going to hear about today, where he currently utilizes cutting-edge advertising technology to protect Israel's image and combat anti-Semitism online. His innovative approach and leadership continue to make a profound impact both in Israel and globally. We also have with us Rabbi Ariel Shalem. He's a soul trailblazer since his bar mitzvah, primarily seeking to increase well-being, advance spiritual mindfulness, and develop our personal and collective growth. Other than a teacher, educator, life coach, marriage counselor, and therapist, which is quite a bit, Rabbi Shalem is devoted to all things natural and loves to be outdoors. He continues to serve in the IDF and also serves as a devoted husband and father of 5 in his home in Tal Menashe. More recently, he's joined up with the Digital Iron Dome to help fight against misinformation and lies about Israel. He believes the best way to explain the justness of our cause is to first understand what our national cause is, to be a light unto all the nations of the world. So thank you both so much for coming. I'm going to spotlight you for everyone, and please feel free to share your screen.
Yeah, so hey everyone, nice to meet you. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom. Welcome.
We're happy to be here. It's very exciting for us, at least for me, to see that a group like yours is meeting every week now for like more than 2 years. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. And thank you for so much for what you do for Israel. Whether you are from USA, Europe, doesn't matter. For us, you are in our heart. So thank you.
Yeah, definitely one family, one global family. Looks like we saw some people from all over the world here. And that's just very heartwarming for us to know that we have all these ambassadors everywhere that's taking interest in Israel's welfare and Israel's future. So thank you and blessings to you guys for all your efforts that you're doing. I know in the past, you guys probably, we heard that a lot of you guys were on Sarel. My sister was on Sarel. In the late 80s, I think, or maybe the early 90s, she came back and she said, yeah, I basically greased tank turrets for like, a month straight. I don't know if any of you guys did that. Any tank greasers here? Yeah. So it's incredible because we have all these people going to work to help get boots on the ground, get helmets to the soldiers, get people to support those that are in rehab in the hospitals, all these things. But what Hadar and I are trying to do, primarily with Hadar's project, is we're trying to grease the Hasbara tank. And that's what we're going to try and share with you a little bit today, because it's kind of gotten rusty, and we need to take it to the next level. Just like just like your organization, Steve, you took it to 2.0, Hasbara, or what the best, advocacy for Israel. We need to grease the turrets.
Yeah. So what we're going to show you today is actually a project we developed over the past few months, really really quick after October 7th, and it started as a project, and it turned into a company and a technology, and it's really amazing technology, and I'm gonna share it with you shortly in the presentation. Feel free to ask any questions, and I wanna tell you that in this presentation we're gonna share and we're gonna talk. First, we're gonna talk about the problems, why they exist. Then we're gonna show the solution. But then we're gonna take action together, and I don't know if you prepare to, but we prepare to give you the tools, give you the opportunity to become a digital Iron Dome operator and to really make a change for Israel. So I hope you're excited for that. Obviously, no commitment needed, so only if you like. But that's it. Let's start. Yeah.
So not everyone can pick up a weapon and fight for Israel, but this is your opportunity from wherever you're on the world to really fight the good fight and spread truth and honest reporting and knowledge to hundreds of millions of people on the planet that are being abused through mass media and through Israel bias. So you don't have to have a weapon to actually win this war. You just need some courage. You need a little bit of brain power, and then of course, being a part of a community like Digital Iron Dome, it's a supportive community, and it's an opportunity for us to share ideas, to brainstorm and figure out what's the best way to tackle the problems that we're facing.
Yeah, and speaking about problem, I think that this is the reason why we're here, and the reason why it all started, besides October 7th, but October 7th is also only a symptom of much deeper thing. The thing is, we as Jewish people, we as Israelis, we found ourselves right now fighting for our lives. And by joining this broadcast, you stepping into one of the most significant battles of our time. And this is the fight to protect Israel and Jewish people. And it's not all about the Jewish people. It's about the Jewish values and the Israeli values, and not only Jewish values and Israeli values, the values of light and values
humanity.
of humanity, volunteering, and all what you and us represent together. So first of all, thank you for dictating your time to support this vital cause. The problem is really clear. When we talk about advocacy, it began with what we see in anti-Semitism, that according to the ADL, there was a 300% increase in anti-Semitic incidents worldwide, and it's only rising and rising. Online anti-Semitism surged by 40% and even more, and even over 70% of the Jewish people report that they have faced some anti-Semitism, and we see that all the time. Just last month, 39-year-old Orthodox Jewish man was murdered while walking to a synagogue in Chicago. He was killed by a 22 years old Muslim, and it's happening all over the world. I think we can see it, we can feel it. That in France, 12 years old Jewish girl gang raped in Paris, and we see it in the protests, the Palestinian protests, when they're not just pro-Palestinians, they anti-Israeli. They just say the Zionist pigs off campus now, and let's burn Tel Aviv to the ground, and intifada, globalize the intifada. And I think it's no wonder why we can all see clear connection between what's happening in the media, and especially the social media, where there is one very clear narrative, just one narrative of Israel is attacking, Israel is rejecting ceasefire, Israel is bombing in Lebanon, bombing in Gaza, killing civilians, and this is what people see. And we have to realize that in today's world, the battle for public opinion is online, not as it used to be, and social media platforms and
it's taken 20 years for us to wake up to this, because as you know, I'm assuming by the average age of the people that are on this group, and myself included, We grew up in a world where, you know, there was like slow media and there was snail mail, and we weren't bombarded with tons of information the way that people are nowadays. And so there's a huge amount of content out there that's totally biased against Israel, and it's an onslaught that we really haven't assessed well enough. And Hadar just had this epiphany as he actually flew to Columbia University in December, in May and April, May, and actually while he was there is when things really went south and got bad, and he realized at that time, we have to do something about this. We have to fight this war because these people are being poisoned by misinformation and by blatant anti-Semitism.
Yeah, and what you see in the image, you see in the screen, the two images, really the roots, the core of the problem that we're facing is that in one side, in the left side, you see the Instagram trend that was all eyes on Rafah, which got to 25 million shares. Later it got to 40 million, but this screenshot is only when it was 25 million. And in the right side, you see the Israeli response, where your eyes were on October 7th, but you see that, I don't know if you see it, it's really small, but you can see the number of shares is like 200,000K. It's like 100 times less, 100 times, which represent the problem that we're facing in social media.
Is we're not getting exposure, and we're not getting accurate exposure. And that's where Hadar's brilliant concept comes in, is how accurate the digital Iron Dome is in combating this misinformation.
Yeah, and it's really hard to combat it because first the algorithms are against us, the numbers are against us, and we know now that anti-Israeli misinformation spread more than 6 times faster than pro-Israeli messages, right? And misinformation and biased narrative are skewing people's perception of Israel, and people tell us about it. We have surveys and researchers telling us the people that doing anti-Semitism and doing terror attacks against Jews or against Israel, they see it on social media, then they decide to do it, they see it on media, and it really seems like everyone are against us. Everyone is against us, sorry. And it's not, I think it's not wonder why. But the truth is, I think like for me, growing Israeli, the first thing you say is, they're all just a bunch of people that hate Jews and hate Israel. But after going to Colombia and talking with people, and I think you know that better than I do, the truth is that most people don't really hate us. They just don't really know anything real about us.
Or they're being swept up in the classic idiom of the emperor's new clothes, which, you know, they just don't want to go against, to be the person that speaks out against evil or speaks out against injustice, real injustice. And so they stay silent because they just haven't been armed with enough truth for them to be brazen and bold enough to take a stand, maybe even in the office place or on their social media groups, to say, well, guys, I think the story is more nuanced. I don't think it's so clear that Israel is the Goliath and Palestine is the David. And it's a very nuanced story, and we believe that truth will actually spread like a wildfire, but we need to be able to penetrate the network that the anti-Israel bias has set up online.
Exactly, and the thing that proving to me that what we're doing is right is just asking myself, and I want to ask you right now, and imagine what if the people hating Israel would know what you know. Would they still hate us? I guess no. I guess they would be on this call right now trying to help because you know something that they don't know, and this is the root of the problem. Because the Jewish voice...
It's also the solution.
Yeah, it's also the solution. Because the Jewish voice and the Israeli voice are systematically stiffed across social media. Stifled across social media and news platforms. And it's just preventing the real story from reaching the public. Because this vacuum allows misinformation and outright lies to dominate. And it's really painting and just inaccurate picture and leading people to just unjust hatred. And the problem is not just that they hate us, they just don't know the truth because we are not allowed to tell it. And while Hamas lies and propaganda are going viral, brainwashing hundreds of millions of people worldwide, and you can see on the left image, it's a puppet. It's not a real. It's not a real girl.
It's a doll.
It's a doll. Yeah, and in the center, it's an image taken from Turkey, from one of the earthquakes in Turkey. And the whole Hamas media system is just to
lie as much as possible.
Yeah, and And this is what we're facing, while the Jewish and Israeli voice is just silenced and suppressed. And everyone who's been lately in New York and Los Angeles can see it on the street, where they put every time a picture of the hostages, and this is what happened time after time.
Yeah, Douglas Murray said you could find a lost dog sign up on the street post in New York for months, and nobody will tear that down. But when it comes to Jews that have been kidnapped by Hamas, by a terror organization, so everybody is quick to tear these posters down. It just goes to show the values that are out there, and just how much evil lurks in the hearts of so many people. But we're really not trying to say this to you in order to make you feel depressed, because we feel like we have a fighting chance here.
Yeah, and we must fight, because the hate is going and going just in one direction. And just lately, I don't think I told you, but I've been in touch with a group that they found a pro-Palestinian group that intentionally going page after page in Wikipedia and just like changing the narrative in every article, saying something about Israel, and they do it to hundreds and thousands of pages. And imagine it's just what's happening in the next generation when you ask AI, tell me what's happened in Israel, and the AI searching Wikipedia, and the Wikipedia showing just one narrative, which is all lies. And this is a fight we must fight right now. But as Ariel said, we don't want just to depress you. We have actually a solution, because this whole situation is what this Iron Dome is founded to deal with, and this is what we are solving. And
yeah, we needed leverage against this fight, because it's almost overwhelming to think that there's so much stacked up against us. And so, Hadar and his team started to get to work and figure out, well, how can we use the very same system and the algorithms of the internet to circumvent censorship, to enable our voice to be heard, and to be able to actually educate people out there that are being misinformed. And this app is an incredible tool for leverage in this fight.
Yeah, because it comes from the understanding that the problem is not the Jewish or the Israeli voice. The problem is that no one is actually hearing our voice, and we first need to get past all the biased media and get past all of the algorithm blocks that, I don't know if you tried, but if you write something pro-Israeli on Facebook, most chances you will get blocked.
Maybe if there were two things I wanted to ask the group here, and you guys can put it in the chat, is A, has anybody been through an anti-Semitic experience, either them or somebody close to them, wherever they are at? And B, has anybody experienced censorship or ostracization or kind of like some type of social abuse online for voicing their opinions about Israel and the Palestinian conflict? I think that it's important for us to hear from you guys, also, so that what we're trying to do is we're trying to provide solutions to enable people to feel empowered, and that's exactly what we're here to do today. So we hope that this is galvanizing and impresses you to the point where you do want to take action, because this is not just talk. We mean action here.
Yeah. So let's talk about the digital Iron Domes, and I think the challenges are clear. We woke up 20 years late after the internet started rising, and our enemies, Iran, China, and the how do you call it in English? The axis of evil, right?
The countries that are not promoting democracy, free speech, and equal rights to all their.
They are investing billions of dollars in education, in anti-Israeli propaganda. We are few against many. We are few. They are many. We are so confident that our cause is right that we just, most of the time, we sometimes Israeli just feel no need to explain the world, and this is really hurting us. And the media outlets, the social media, the educational institutions are brainwashed, and the anti-Israeli posts are promoted very, very much more than the pro-Israeli one. So about the Digital Iron Dome, we founded shortly after October 7th. We called ourselves Slingshot in the beginning. We do real-time campaigns online to face those anti-Semitic narratives and providing accurate knowledge and content. Since October, our technology has bypassed social media censorship, placing pro-Israeli messages on over 200,000 websites and apps, reaching now, it says 25 million, but now we know that we reach more than 100 million people across 5 continents. We collaborated with Israeli Diaspora Affairs, the Israeli Ministry of Diaspora Affairs, and an organization like Stand With Us, and many more to ensure the global visibility and truth about Israel. So this is us. And what we do actually is we, using advanced advertising technology, we deliver pro-Israeli content across most of the biggest websites online for maximum reach and engagement. And the best thing to explain.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed, go back there for a second. I don't know if you guys noticed here some of the news outlets that Digital Iron Dome has been posting on, but you notice there's some clearly very biased against Israel news outlets here that we're actually posting pro-Israel ads in. And the genius thing about Hadar and all of his years of experience advertising and trying to crack the market and figure out what's the best way to get a message across to the public is that now he's put all that wisdom and experience towards this grand effort here. And there are posts on Al Jazeera.
Yeah, and let's show them.
Yeah.
So imagine if what would happen if we could precisely target every corner where hostile opinions about Israel or Jews are spreaded and turn the narrative around. So our technology that is doing just that. It reaches people in even the most hostile environments, like Ariel said, places where traditional advocacy fails. And what we do is it's like a virtual protest sign that can't be ignored. We bypass social media filters. We have precision targeting, so we know that not only one will see our ads, people in specific locations, people that read things about Israel, people that have been involved in hate against Israel. We know to scan the internet and see these kind of people and making sure they seeing their messages. And we have widespread decimation. We have no limit. We can reach unlimited amount of viewers. What the technology does is really brilliant, how it's tackling and bypassing all the media blocks. And it has measurable impact, as I show you soon. We know exactly how many people we reach, which type of people we reach, how many of them engage, how many of them change their mind. It's really amazing. And it's looked like just like, as I said, the virtual protest sign that cannot be ignored or turned off. And you can see example of in New York Post, in CNN, in the New York Times. We just put this kind of ads, and I have many more examples that I'll share with you, inside articles, inside websites that talking bad things or talking generally about Israel.
Or just connected to the subject of interest. So in a place that talks about how people are concerned about all the children being bombed in Gaza. So on Al Jazeera, what they'll do is they'll play this ad here that shows that Hamas is using children's rooms to hide terror tunnels. And that's a great way to explain why the children are dying in Gaza. It's not because we get joy or pleasure out of killing innocent children. They're miserable. They're in a miserable condition. It's a terrible situation. Our hearts go out to all the people that are suffering there unjustly. But for us to take the blame for that, it's not necessary, because they are deliberately using these children as civilian shields.
Yeah. And this is, for example, a campaign that we published today. And this is a campaign that it shows like that when you browse on a major news outlet or major website. Below the articles, you can see many more articles that might be interested for you. And this is where we placed ads like this, ads saying, okay, beyond the news, exposing the hidden truth about Middle East crisis and the hidden truth behind what's happening. And then I'll just continue to share my screen. When people clicked about this ad, they're going to this article that was written by one of our community members that really talking about the Middle East conflict and really breaking myth after myth and showing where misinformation is. And it's really long articles saying, okay, Gaza condition before the 2023 attack. What about civilian casualties in Gaza? What about Hamas leader telling about how they protect civilians? And it have proof and why Israel fights everyone around it. And so it's really actually like
very informative.
Yeah, very informative, very tackling the resistance. And we can know people that click on the article and say, okay, this article helped me understand the October 7th event better. This is what our goal is. And we know how many people each day clicking on it. So Going
So
back,
that feedback is important for us to understand if your efforts as people that are uploading these campaigns and disseminating the truth, we want to know if it's working. We want to know if it's not money spent in vain. And so we have these tail end polls that give us an indication as to how much people are taking interest into the information we're sending out.
yeah, and we have many examples because we operated in. It's like we had, as I said, more than 100 million views. So we had tons of examples. For example, this is ad that we publish on USA, on Fox News and New York Post. And we run many type of campaign, whether to defend Israel, to combat anti-Semitism, to memorize October 7th, and we run campaign in Columbia University, specifically in the campus, and we run campaign in South Africa, campaigns that reach over 10 million people, over 3 times per people, and people actually voted on our ads and tell us if they like us or not. And in this specific campaign, we received more than 43,000 votes, and 71.3% of them was positive in the end of the campaign. So that showed that even in a country that really
Has a strong anti-Semitic bias.
exactly, even there we can generate support if we just show people the truth about Israel. And we run campaigns in Hague, in Iran and Lebanon and Qatar,
where we have a lot of support, actually, believe it or not. In Tehran and most of Iran, we're talking about a population which does support Israel as secretly, while being afraid of the mullahs and the ayatollahs for expressing freedom of speech there.
Yeah, and what we also do in our campaign. So this is an example of campaign that we run in East Jerusalem in Arab population, asking them questions.
In Arabic.
Yeah, in Arabic, and there's the translation below. For example, one of the questions that, is there a religious justification in Islam for killing other Muslims, or killing civilians, or kidnapping women and the elderly and children? And we actually know how many people voted on each question. And we know, for example, this is to show you how measurable our data is. We know that most of the people that clicked yes, there is a justification for killing people. They were on Android devices, so we know that people with iPhone are less likely
to click yes,
to click yes, to support the murder of kids and women.
And so that'll help us in the future target the correct audience, and there would be a follow-up, let's say, to these questions.
There is. So we what we did in this campaign, we actually targeted everyone that clicked yes, and we showed them, we retargeted them online later
with verses from the Quran and from the Sharia, from the Islamic body of law, and from the core texts of religious faith. And we showed them that it's actually not true. They just don't know their own Islam. It's funny because basically we're teaching the Muslims about Islam, and it's kind of ironic.
Yeah, it is. And we have all the data. We know how many clicked and voted, and we know on which website. So we have many data.
And there's people that are nonstop crunching the analysis so that we can always be more efficient in how we go about spending the consumer's dollar here, because we are asking that people spend their money in order to help make this work, and we do not want them to waste their money. That would be a travesty and a waste of time and energy for everybody involved. So we really want to make sure that we understand the data, do the proper analysis, and then tweak and refine how the information gets out, where it goes to, so it's not lost, so that it's making an impact.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, like, since now we talked about what we are doing, but now what we did on the past few months, we developed a website, we developed technology that allows you to take our technology into your own hands and create your own campaigns, or support our current running campaigns in your own country or territory. So I noticed there is people from Europe here. I talked a lot with people in Germany and in Netherlands, and they say to me that the anti-Semitism is really rising up. And this tool that we're going to share with you right now in the link I'm going to send the link in the chat, is allowing you to spread the message and do what exactly we did in all of these campaigns. And you have amazing control. I'm going to show it to you right now. But I wanted you to understand, as Ariel said, this tool costs money, not the use of the tool itself, but each ad that you are sponsoring is costing money. So it's not for free, but this is the only way that you can actually impact people online and making sure that they see and hear the true voice of Israel. So what I'm going to do now is send you the link, and then I'm going to show you how to use it. And you can use it right now.
It's very user-friendly. If you guys even want to have a session after we sign off, you guys could create this, within how long do you think it would take for them to set it up?
5 minutes. And
you can set up a campaign in 5 minutes. Now, clearly, if you want to educate better, our job as Hasbara specialists, as advocacy specialists, is that what we need to do is we need to work on our messages and work on our approach, because it has to be done with intelligence and wisdom, because you're not gonna we'll do a much better job at educating people if we can first, I would say, think like them. And so that's part of our understanding of what we need to do, is also understanding the truth of our own cause, which is a very important thing, as well as understanding the mindset of the average person we're trying to meet. Now, of course, you might ask, well, what about all these people? They're not going to be convinced. They're haters. The haters are going to hate. They're never going to change. And that's true. There's a big part of the population that we have no issue with, because their brain is sealed. But that doesn't mean that there aren't, probably a few 100 million people out there that are just waiting for somebody like you to reach out to them in a smart, intelligent way and show them information and bring them a little bit closer to the truth of the matter.
Okay, so yeah, Ariel is really right, and I just sent the link in this chat. Let me know if you receive it. But even if not, it's really simple. You just need to go to digitalirondome.com/onboarding, or you can just go to digitalirondome.com and then click on the first button. And once you go to the onboarding, and please do it with me, open your phone, open the other tab in the computer, type digitalirondome.com, and once you go to digitalirondome.com, you click on Amplify Israel Voice, and then you go into this page. And this is the page when you can start and build your own advocacy campaign for Israel. You click Start Your Campaign Now, you click Continue, and then the first step is to choose your campaign goals. So you can choose raise awareness, convincing people. That way our algorithm can know what is the goal for this campaign. If you want to focus on driving people to an article or a video, so you can click and select multiple goals, that's fine. This is the first step, selecting your goals. After that, you need to choose the target location. So this is basically saying where your ads will be shown on the map. So you can choose on country, you can choose city, you can choose specific college campuses, and you can choose also live on anti-Semitism map. So we scan data from ADL, and we actually know currently where is the most anti-Semitism happening right now, and we can see it all over the US and Europe, and we can see some of the incident and understand what's happened there. So for example, let's go to New York area, and we can see, okay, this is, wait a minute, this is
that's where Ilana is, in Philadelphia.
Yeah, for some reason it should say what happened, but I don't know. I can. So Queens Cemetery vandalism. So it's actually saying to you what's happening, but you can just also count on that where is the heat map is red. That means that there is more anti-Semitism. So right now we know that the East Coast is way more anti-Semitic than the West Coast, and in Europe it's worse than in the USA.
Germany and England are the worst there.
And what you can do is actually click and select the radius that you want the campaign to run in. So everyone that's in this location will get the ads, and you can increase the radius if you want. So let's say 100 kilometers. So this is bigger. So that's say most of New York. And then you just click next. And then you choose the location, the online location of the ads. Do you want to advertise on news sites, on social media, on mobile apps? I prefer and suggest you choose all of them. Because we want to reach our audience wherever they are and create this feeling that we are in every platform. And this is so important because we are the only ones that can bypass the news website. Often people ask me, how can you advertise on Al Jazeera? How can you advertise on CNN? Stuff like that. And this is exactly what our technology does. We can bypass these algorithms and sensors. Now we allow you to use our technology. And the next step is to choose the campaign that you want to promote. So for example, our most popular campaign right now is the campaign about the Nova Festival, and then the Unmasking Hamas Lies, the article you just saw. But we have campaigns of memorizing people like Hirsch and fighting for the 5 defenseless girls that's still in prison, kept Hest. Oh, I wish they was in prison. They are in tunnels. And saving the Bibos family, or I support Israel. And you can also create your own campaign, but this is for later, for people that are have like their own unique idea. We allow them to create their own campaign, but I suggest for now, just click and choose one campaign that you feel that really resonate with you and you want to spread. So I really like Unmasking Hamas Lies and the Nova Festival. I'm going to choose the Nova Festival right now. And after you choose the campaign, you can click next. And then you actually choosing how many people will see the ad, how many people it will reach, and how many times per month. So this is where you also need to spend money, because the more people you reach, it costs money to reach. So you can choose if you have the budget to reach 8,000 people 3 times per month, and you can also choose, okay, I wanna spend like $100 per month on this. This is what my contribution to Israel is. And I want people to see my ads 2 times per month or 3 times. So this is $144, and I'm reaching people 12,000 times. You can also choose the age range and the gender. You don't have to, but you can also choose if you want to reach younger audience or older audience. It's up to you. And this is actually the final step. Now you can choose how long the campaign would run. So let's say for 6 months. And now you can see examples for past campaigns. You can click next, and then you just fill your details. Okay, you enter your phone number, and you're just going for payment options. So you have so for us, we choose the 6-month campaign. It costs $144 a month, but you can also have a discount if you prepaid, because if you do that, it allows us to buy media more cheaply, because the bigger media that we buy, we can buy it cheaper. But you can also do the monthly subscription. It's what's best for you. And then you just proceed to payments.
Is there a minimum?
I think the minimum is like something like $24 a month, something like that. And you can also pay in Google Pay, Apple Pay, Amazon Pay, many payments methods. And of course, it's secure payment by Stripe. And this is really it. So we giving you the power to support Israel, to spread Israel voice, even in the most hostile environments. And this is up to you how, where, when. You're in control. You have this amazing ability to support Digital Iron Dome, and we have more than 200 monthly active support in Israel, and we have many in the US, and we're growing and we're developing more technology. So it's really an amazing opportunity to join us in this road to saving Israel and fighting the fight that Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu said that Israel wins in all of the fights that we fight.
All the fronts.
All the fronts that it fights, except the advocacy front. So
and it's not just saving Israel. I mean, I think you guys all feel that the tensions are rising in your own countries, and everybody knows the analogy of the canary in the coal mine. and what it means to bear witness to anti-Semitic acts rising over 300% rise in the last year since the beginning of the war. And, you know, that's always going to be a bad sign for everybody everywhere. So we kind of feel like we're not just fighting for Israel. We feel like Israel's the centerpiece for a battleground that is really between forces of good and evil in the world, and people that want to stand by, you know, a free, democratic country that believes in the goodness of humanity, as opposed to a depraved culture led primarily by you know, Iranian theocracies that are basically professing a certain type of death cult, that anybody that doesn't succumb to Islamic totalitarian rule. And if the world doesn't see this in clear terms, then the whole planet is actually headed for a dangerous situation, a very perilous situation. So we don't just think that you're fighting for Israel. We actually think that you're fighting for goodness everywhere and for freedom everywhere. We really believe that's at the core of this conflict, and that's why the more we can educate people, the more we can shift the tide back towards healing this terrible scourge that humanity is facing.
Yeah, and I think maybe now we'll get like 1 minute or 2 minutes to all the people to select their campaigns and do what and think about questions, and maybe let's play some niguns, and then after we'll answer questions about the technology. So in the meantime, feel free, go to digitairondome.com, select your campaign. And if you have questions, we're here to answer. I think we have questions that, are you in touch with Open Door Media in Jerusalem? No, we're not in touch, but we'd love any connection you have. And if you want to take us to your own community to do a presentation like this, we would love to. If you have investors, if you have big donors, we would love to. So thank you.
Yeah, and I think that primarily we are people that really believe in light. We really believe in peace. We really see that as the ultimate vision. It's a nuanced story that's not being told. It's a narrative that we're not hearing about. You know, just take, for example, this one song. It's a very popular Israeli song. You guys might have heard it. It's called Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. And it was so based on the unity of all humanity that the people that made the song decided, well, we can't say there should be peace upon us without singing it also in Arabic. And so I think that you know, that sentiment is really something like, you know, who's going to post that on world media, that the Israelis are singing songs in Arabic saying, hey, like, we're inviting you to join us in creating peace. I wonder if the Arabs are creating songs like this in Arabic where they add Hebrew to it as well. But I'm still haven't heard that song yet, but hopefully this song will get some traction. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam. Aleinu ve'kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam. Aleinu ve'kol ha'olam. Salam, salam.
Amazing song. And we have another question from Barry. Where does the money go? And does Digital Iron Dome use some for overhead? Yeah. So the money is split like that. So around 30% go direct into media buying and impressions. So ads that we are sponsoring. Another third is going for us to develop technologies like the website that we're doing. Currently, our developer inside Gaza, his name is Maor, and is going out. God bless him and God save him. He's going out of Gaza in 2 weeks. But we have many more milestones to develop. For example, we are in the middle of developing an AI technology that can actually scan websites online and understand what they're saying about Israel, and creating content specifically that's going against the same article. So this is what's, for example, one of the technology we're developing. And another third of the money go for overhead, and 10% of the money, so it's like 30%, 30%, 30%, and 10% go for content creation. So sometimes we use other organization content for campaigns, for images, for articles that they're writing. So this is how the money goes. I have to say we are not we're not a non-profit. We are startup, Israeli startup. We also one of our goals is to fundraise in venture capital in the next few months. So if you can help us with that, this is also amazing. And yeah, we are an Israeli startup. So I hope this answers the question. Yeah.
Hadar, there's a question from Rochelle. Can I donate money? I'm not good at computers. I think a lot of people here might not be great with computers. So is there like an email address or a way to contact you to donate money?
Yeah. So you can contact us on support at digitalironDome.org.
Let me put this in the chat. If you could put it in the chat, whatever information.
Yeah, and feel free to contact us through there. So I'm just writing it right now. Sorry.
And then, Rabbi, maybe you can answer while Hadar is writing, but should we ask people to unmute and ask questions if they have, or?
Yeah, we'd like to hear some voices. That would be nice. And I just want to give a shout out to Pamela. Is Pamela here?
She's on the phone.
Okay, so whatever. Once she gets back off,
she'll get off in a minute. Yeah, and I just want to thank both of you. This is incredible. What incredible and much needed work you're doing.
Yeah, it feels good to actually feel like we can put a dent in the armor, because so many of us. And we had 1,500 people on webinars around the time of the October 7th memorial.
Yeah.
The vast majority of people were telling us how frustrated they felt about not having a voice. And so this is really important that we're able to let our voice be heard, and just not let it be heard, because we're all sick and tired of everybody shouting to people that aren't listening, and that's not really it's not an effective way to go about changing the situation. So we really hope that not only are we empowering people to have a voice, but have an effective voice. That's where we stand to deliver something that's new. It's a new product, and it's an efficient product. Yeah.
Hadar, I don't see anything in the chat. I don't know if you put it there, but it's not showing up. Just so you're aware.
I think I sent it to
So send it directly to Brett. And that will change the recipients to everybody in the group.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Just want to make sure we can get you what you need.
Thank you. Here, I wrote it. Can you see it?
Great. Yep.
Thank you.
And
the website, if they want to make a direct donation to without sponsoring a campaign.
So currently it's not available. They have to sponsor a campaign. They can contact us, and we will.
If who's the one that was asking about that?
Rochelle was asking.
Okay, so Rochelle, you don't have to be good at computers to do it. It's really user friendly. But if you don't, let's say you have an idea. Like I had an idea about play the Israel quiz. Okay, what does that mean? You say, what do you know about the Arab-Israeli conflict? And that gets people excited. They want to press, and okay, I know a lot, right? And then you start doing these, questions with multiple choice answers, and they click on it, and then, people probably can't even tell you when the state of Israel was created. They can't tell you when the first time the word Palestinian was used. Now, these are like very simple questions. We all saw how outrageous it was that people were shouting from the river to the sea. Nobody knew geographically what they meant when they said that. So one of the things if Rochelle, you have an idea of what you'd like to do, or I'm sure that people on staff with Hadar will be able to help create the content and get it uploaded. All you got to do is just get us an email to the support there at digitalironDome.org. and we will accommodate to whatever vision you have for how you want to go about changing the world, a few people at a time.
Yeah.
And everyone should feel free to unmute if you have a question. I don't know if you want to keep sharing your page, but we can kind of turn this into more of a discussion format. So if anyone
did you have a question for me, Alana?
Yeah, someone wanted to talk to you. I don't know if it was the rabbi or Hadar. Someone who asked where. It's Pam, yeah.
Hi, Pam. Yeah, so thank you for offering that. We really appreciate and love the support that everybody is showing the IDF in these times. And I'm actually going back into doing a 45-day tour of duty in next Sunday. And my unit, because I have American connections, my unit is actually pretty well well stocked. Thank God, I have a lot of beautiful, loving people in the States. So I spent 4 years as an emissary for the Jewish Agency in San Diego, and a lot of people have really opened up their pockets and helped us out a lot. So,
what unit are you in?
It's in Agmar. So I'm 46. So I received an exemption from serving in Miluim, but I was in combat throughout my reserve duty. And it's called 8110. It's Gedud Yoav, infantry combat soldier.
Okay.
Yeah, Hadar was in a very top secret elite unit.
Called Meitar. Yeah,
it's called Meitar. So it's not top secret because you can say the name.
No, I can also said what we were doing, the top secrets in like how we doing it. But it's funny that what we do is like it's a really an Iron Dome, but to attack. So it's funny that what I'm doing now, but it's actually a unit that use really high focus missiles. And I don't know if you ever saw videos like of Israeli attack that like the missile enters straight into the windows and penetrate the first floor and the second floor.
Somehow weaves through all the buildings in the area to get to the bottom floor of a building in the middle.
Location. So yeah, this is basically what we do in our unit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, take my phone number, and if you know anybody in any other units that needs things, not that has rich sponsors, because we've helped every single unit throughout the country. We've helped 40. I just redid the count today. almost 47,000 soldiers since the war started. So
thank you so much. Thank you.
And you're much welcome to join the Digital Iron Dome unit. This is also a unit.
Absolutely.
We actually have to start a branch in the IDF. That's what we need to do. I mean, that's what Bibi said. This is a front that we're failing miserably in, and it's definitely a worthwhile cause. And mainly, I think it fits in with the vision of what we are as the Jewish people. I think when and anybody that's aligned with us, I think that what we're striving for more than anything is truth and knowledge and education. That's been a cornerstone for our people as long as we can remember. As soon as we left Egypt, we started telling a story to our children, to our children's children, about despots, about evil, about freedom. And I think that, that's our forte. That's our strongest point. We are able to influence the world, not because we're the biggest country, not because we were an empire the size of, Alexander the Great, or not because, the Romans or the Persians or all these other empires that managed to influence the world by conquering them. That's not our interest. Our interest primarily is to spread the truth of believing in unity, in one God, and love, and everything that comes with that. And so, when we do this, it's hard sometimes as a soldier to feel like you're doing something right when you know that there is harm done to people, innocent people. We're fighting a war that's they're embedded in these civilian populations, and it's not easy for us. As my rabbi and teacher Rabbi Shlomo Karlebach said, what's the difference between a Jewish soldier and a non-Jewish soldier? And it doesn't have to go by those lines, but it could be a righteous soldier or a non-righteous soldier. So a non-righteous soldier prays and says, God, please let me hit my target. And deep down inside, a Jewish soldier or a righteous soldier would say, God, please don't make me have to pull this trigger. we don't want to kill anybody. This is not our goal. Our goal is to shed light. That's the purpose of our nation. But we are fighting for our lives here, and if we need to fight, we will. But ultimately, it's not what we want. And somehow I wish that the world would understand that, because that's not the message being conveyed to the public.
Yeah, and to end this amazing talk and amazing hour, I want to do two things. First is to emphasize that we need the voice of Israel to be clear, because people on media forgot what we're fighting for, like Israel attacking, Israel bombing, but we actually have hostages in Gaza for more than a year now. Kids, elderly people, they are still in there, and we must, if you want to support the campaign, support the Bring Them Home campaign that we do with collaboration with Bring Them Home organization, to actually make people remember that we are fighting for them, and we will continue to fight until. And the second thing I wanted to do is maybe we can sing Return by Rabbi Shlomo Carlebach and pray for the return of all the hostages, and we want all of you to join us if you want, and and pray for their all return and the return of all of the captives. That's it.
Amen.
I have a question.
Yes.
My question, two questions. One, is anybody rewriting anti-Israel posts on Wikipedia? Is anybody doing what they do about Israel?
The group that told me that they doing that. This is actually was a very big famous story 1 week or 2 weeks ago. Even Elon Musk retweeted it on X, so people know about it and they trying to fix it. So they are on it. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, that could be a lifetime job. Secondly, I wrote the question about Raphael Shore, Rabbi Shore, Open Door Media and Clarion Project in Jerusalem. I will put him in touch with you, because he's doing amazing Hasbara work and education all through America. And I think if he doesn't know you, he should.
Thank you. Yeah, anybody that you know that can be team up, that can help us grow, we can help them grow, please put us in touch with them.
Do your posts go on X? Do your posts go on X, which is really a lot of anti-Semitism?
Yeah. So we have a question. Do you have a place where we can look at the percentage of money spent that are sent to this Iron Dome organization? So this is one of the things we're developing now in the website. I think we have. Let me share the screen again. I think that what we currently have now in our homepage is the every campaigns and the views. So like you can see that each, like we counting the views, not currently the money that's spent, but I think that like one of the next updates of the website will also say how much money was supported. And
do you mean to? Is the question, Gail? Is this the question from Gail? If
yes,
the question
this is a question from me. I have a daughter who is works for the nonprofits, gathering up funds for them, and so I know that this is a question she would ask.
I just asked the question.
Right, there has to be, for nonprofits, there has to be transparency. There has to be, if they can't receive nonprofit status, if they don't post where they spend all their monies, because we're a nonprofit, because we are for profit. So we're not bound by those rules, but I think what Hadar was saying before, and we could post it, it's not a problem to post it because it's nothing we're ashamed of, but it's 30%, 30%, 30%, and 10%, where 30% is going to the overhead, to Hadar's salary, to other people.
We have more than 5 employees.
Yeah, 5 full-time employees. There's legal issues. There's overhead for office and for other menial tasks that need to happen. So considering, if you compare that to a standard nonprofit, for 30% of the monies in a nonprofit, I've heard that there's some nonprofits that are spending billions of dollars a year, and only 10% of the money is actually going to the intended cause. So that's kind of the farce that we sometimes come across with nonprofits. Now, they can spend it any way they want. The only thing is they just have to be transparent about it. And we have no problem being transparent too, because we have a pretty good track record as putting as much of your money to work in the best possible way.
Thank you.
So, thank you very much for being here. Thank you.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. presence and continued support. Even if it's not monetary support, we could use your voice to get our product out to all those people out there that are suffering, like so many other pro-Israel advocates, that they don't have a voice, they feel shut down, and we want to empower as many people as possible here. We think that we can easily get to millions of campaign impressions. And so it's just a matter of getting the word out now and getting more traction. And like we said, soon we'll be testing. What we're doing right now is we're doing the beta testing to make sure that the product is viable and that it's working for people. And then we're going to have what to pitch to the big donors and the big organizations who will then.
We're also working we work with the Israeli. We're also working right now with big organizations. But yeah, we also, it's important for us to also
garner grassroots support. Exactly. We need the grassroots support now. More people like you guys that are supporting, building campaigns, showing how user-friendly it is. People will see this and realize, wow, I think we're onto something. Let's ramp it up.
I think just the fact that you can have your own voice viewed on CNN, Al Jazeera, this is just amazing. This is just like an amazing feeling. I know for myself that when I wrote an article and then I saw like 500,000 people view it this week, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive to get that type of readership. We who would have ever thought that we could be the voice that millions of people will hear, and yet it's happening.
Yeah.
I have a question. Do you have a newsletter or anything that you sign up for?
Or Facebook group or something?
So we have a WhatsApp group, and we have a WhatsApp group for the campaign supporters. We have a community of people. We gather once a month or something like that, like we did on October 7th, and we did the event in the Sukkah. I think this is where we met Robin, who led us into here, and we also sent reports by email, and also like in the website. Once you support the campaign, you will receive email and password, and you can see in the dashboard so how many people we actually reach. So once supporting an active campaign, you can our campaigns are active right now. So once you support it, you can see how many views you reached so far from your contribution to it. So it's really cool.
Yeah, and I think once we build more support too, what I'd like to do is maybe create a community of people where we can brainstorm, where we can share ideas, where we can help each other out. And I think that two minds are better than one. And if we get a community together, that's a lot of minds, and we can do some incredible things together. And sometimes it could just be as simple as if somebody had an experience with somebody that was negative in the workplace or somewhere else, other people can give support, both just emotionally support, say, hey, you're not alone. We feel you. We understand you're going through hard times. Maybe, God forbid, even somebody lost their job, or even worse, there was some act of violence committed against them. So to know that we have a community of people that are supportive and understand what we're all going through in this war is important. But even more so, not just the emotional support, but there's intelligent way to go about talking to people who don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, and for example, like in this case, you said we can also start a campaign targeting the same workplace. Is it like a big building office?
Yeah, if we're a community, and let's say there's somebody in their workplace, let's say, for example, at Intel or something like that, where they went through it, they had a bad experience where it was clearly misrepresentation and abusive or just slander or defamation. What we could do is we could say, well, let's target Intel's workplace, and then we'll get together and as a group we can either create the content, fund it, or both, and then help that person out with their issue in the company.
That was the question I was going to ask. Have you had any individuals who started campaigns, or do people contribute only to the half a dozen or so that you showed us? So if I want to have a campaign, how do I do this? I mean, I'm an amateur as far as setting up content.
Yeah, so basically now it's really it's the first version that we allow this, but I'll share my screen again and I show you. And soon when our developer is going out of Gaza, he will develop it more. But right now, you can choose the campaign and like do all the setting that I told before, the location. So let's choose just an example, okay, Philadelphia, and where the ads will be. And then when you choose the campaign, you can click create your own campaign. So right now, you just need to write a title, a description of the campaign, the views goal, and the end date of the campaign, and then images if you have banners or ads that you want specifically to run. So you have like for example, like the I Stand with Israel one, or whatever you can create or you can upload it, and then we approve it or disapprove it, or what we do now, because it's very beta, we will contact you and say okay. And we don't run it. We won't run each campaign. We need to make sure it's in our policies, and like it's enough money to spend. So if you create your own campaign but you just sponsor like $50, it won't work. We need more money to set up a campaign.
So once a person goes through these things, then and they click create campaign, what happens then?
So for this example, let's do an example campaign. Just an example things, and I think okay.
But as you're doing that, where does that show up? Because I just went on to check your website, and I don't know where you get to that.
To this page or to the campaign you created?
Well, I'm pressing start your campaign, and nothing's even happening. First, there's a login. You're supposed to log in first.
No. I'll show you in a minute. So I'll show you in a minute. Once you're creating your campaign, you choose the amount of people you want to reach, and then when you pay, we have the campaign to we build it for you. But to answer your questions, so when you're in our website, this is our website. You just click Amplify Israel Voice. And then it takes you to this page, which leads you to the campaign creation. Does it work now?
Hadar, I know it sounds simple to you, and I know you've been looking at it a lot. We have a lot of people on here.
Generation.
We have a lot of people on here and saying nothing about what they know or how professional they are. It's just it's a different generation, and I know like my dad has trouble texting. So I'm just saying, do you have like a YouTube of a how-to or a step-by-step for people, so people who aren't normally great with computers can help?
It's funny, but what we don't, but like we can create one, and we can actually take this recording, the part where I just instructed step by step, and this is basically it.
I know it seems easy to us, but
so wait, let's just go back. So you go into the one that's digitadirondome.com/onboarding, right?
Yeah, then you get to this page. Okay, this is the onboarding page.
Now I'm on there. Okay. And then you don't log in, you just go to start your campaign now?
Start your campaign, you click continue, then you choose the campaign goal, then you choose the location. So let's say you want to put the ads in specific campus.
Yeah.
So Brown University, for example.
All right.
And then you click next.
For me, it's not even, once I press start your campaign now, it's not even going. Maybe it's something with my whatever right now, but okay. Well, I'll work on it.
Okay. And yeah, we'll make sure it's more user friendly. We will work on it.
Yeah, we'll get a YouTube video up with showing step by step how to set it up. And of course, anybody that has trouble with anything, if you write to us and support at digitadirondome.org, you will be serviced. We will not turn away anybody that's seeking to contribute. This is more important that we enable people to be productive. That primarily I would say the overarching goal is to empower people to feel productive in the fight against disinformation, misinformation, and anti-Semitism. everywhere, but it's not limited to that either. You know, the sky's the limit with the internet. And I know I'm speaking to this generation, which sometimes feels lost in all this, but the sky is really the limit. And, you know, I would say maybe if you have a passionate son or granddaughter or that, you know, is more savvy.
Great idea.
This is a great project to sit down with them and say, hey, I have this idea. I have this app and I want to put it together. Can you sit with me for 15 minutes and we'll spell it out for them? And I think that would be a great way to create intergenerational, you know, it's like, you know, if we can be comrades in this battle with our own children, our own grandchildren, like how sweet is that? You know, that's really that's really something that's endearing, and I think that it would bring people together in a good way.
Yeah.
I'm really tickled with your business model. The word volunteer resonates with Volunteers for Israel and everybody on the screen. No argument there. You're basically, from what I can see, establishing basically a civilian conservation corps, if you remember that from the old days. And the focus is not so much to clean up the forest, but to clean up the mess in PR that exists in the world. It strikes me that there might be a way to promote what you're doing as a volunteer process for Israel, certainly, but it's so highly customized that it becomes a family project. And I could see you pitching it as a to-do for a family or some other affinity group to focus on, you know, creating their own, basically their own material, or using your standard material. But the funding source would be a uniform.
This is amazing.
Good idea, Steve. We love it. Yeah.
And I think that when I was in Columbia University, I started thinking of this idea. Then I didn't have this website and technology. Now I have. But like the idea was, okay, let's go to college campus students, telling them, okay, let's create. They know how to create content. They know how to create videos and banners. Then let's show them our technology and let them share with the family and let the family fund it. So it's like combining all that we have together and created campaign specifically for the college campus that the college student made.
Yeah, that's the best advocacy too. When you feel like your effects are that you're acting locally. What I love,
right? But my point is though that to push it forward, it seems to me the best sponsor might be the patriarch of the family or a matriarch of the family to adopt your concept and pass it through the generations who are far smarter on the computer than we are, and do it as a family kind of project and have the family fund it either through senior funding or whatever, but standalone, separate units, separate families doing their own thing. And for example, if you got annoyed if something happened at Columbia, it's very easy to get annoyed at Columbia these days, then you're funding personally an initiative that will have an impact, positive impact on Columbia, presumably. Yeah. And it's measurable. I like that. Your use of artificial intelligence should give you all kinds of stuff that, you know, not only content, but all the feedback mechanisms and all that, I'm familiar with some of that. And that's a very powerful argument that takes away the responsibility to create content. You know, you're basically doing that, and you'll do it in a very intelligent way. There's an organization that we distribute within VFI. It's from a nonprofit called Focus Group. They're out of New York City or Brooklyn, and they produce a document every Tuesday afternoon about 2 o'clock Eastern time. And what they do is they take a certain topic. This all has to do with Jewish and Jewish related. They take a topic and they expand it for the common person, and they include in that topic what they call talking points. Succinct English language expression of what the talking points are about a particular process or product or event or whatever. I can connect you with the principals that run that operation. They might be some direct collaborative involvement that you could link to them, because you're basically trying to take what they do, where they provide talking points to families. It's a reverse of what you do. And what you do is provide talking points to individuals to send back to the company, right? they're the company and they're sending it to the consumer. So I'd be glad to make that association if that is of any interest. And in fact, it's headed up by a rabbi.
Yeah.
We would love to. We found out that there's so many organizations that are focusing on creating content, but this content goes to nowhere, and there's not enough organization that amplify.
Correct.
Yeah, you're doing what I would call the last mile.
Yeah, it's the actual it's like I said, it's finding the weak point in their armor, because it's very fortified. Their approach is basically shut down. Once the algorithm senses that something's pro-Israel, they shut it down. And the brilliant part about this is that we're able to circumvent that altogether, which allows people to actually speak. It's just incredible, right? And I had an idea, because Steve, you inspired me. Wouldn't it be cool if, let's say, a local person in a community would give a grant, let's say $1,000 to the family who makes the most successful campaign? And then, who gets the greatest amount of readership? And then what we could do is we could even, create this type of, I wouldn't say competition, but a type of spirit or collective spirit where we're all trying to do our best to make this the most effective.
Can you explain something that isn't clear to me? Let's say I want to target the University of Pennsylvania. How does your information get to Penn? Does it get to students? I mean, how do you have the access to the organization? Because does that mean that somebody at Penn goes onto Facebook and all of a sudden your message appears there? How do you get actually to the organization rather than blanket?
So what we do, our technology knows how to. It's called in the advertising world, it's called geofencing. So we actually know how to put our ads specifically in the geometrics of the campus. And then what we do is, whenever people goes online, most of the website, they sell ads online. Okay, so let's say they're going to eBay sell ads, or they're going to TripAdvisor or Yahoo sell ads. And then what we do is real-time bidding, and when people actually enter the website, in the short milliseconds until the website is loaded, there is a real-time bidding going, and many advertisers are placing their bids to appear to this specific one. And once we realize, hey, this device, this iPhone that just logged into eBay is specifically on the campus where we located our ads, we're gonna bid it higher, and we're gonna bid it until we get the bidding and we win the bid, and our ads is showing to them.
Yeah, every IP address, every type of communication between anything on the internet has an address and has a geolocation. So there's technology is able to locate that. It's almost kind of the same technology, let's say the FBI or CIA would use in order to locate somebody that is saying something that's harmful to the public or something like that, and they could find out where that person is texting from.
Thank you.
Sure.
Have we seen examples of one of their ads?
Yeah, for sure. So we have many. So as I share my screen again. So, for example, this is a campaign that we run inside Columbia University, where again, the content, you can see the ads on the right side. So this is really some of the campaigns use more specific, direct or approach. This time we use political cartoons. So one of the subjects that were viral in Colombia is we want the Palestinian people to be free. So we actually create an ad that's saying, look, Hamas is hurting the Palestinians, and just a smart cartoon to show that. And at
the top, the absolute madness towards the queers or the LGBT community for Gaza. It's just something that most people don't realize, that if you profess that you're homosexual, you could be thrown off a roof in Gaza, and there's nothing in the law that would prosecute somebody for murdering another person because they declare themselves as being homosexual. So, this is kind of it's kind of asinine that people don't know this basic, facts on the ground. But that cartoon at the top kind of indicates that there's a discrepancy there that people aren't paying attention to.
Yeah, and for example, in the other campaign we run in Hague, the ads were just quotes from U.S. last President Joe Biden and many others leaders of the world that saying that they support Israel against the ICC, and we target specifically the ICC court in Hague in Netherlands. Another examples that we have, for example, this is ad we place in Al Jazeera. This is content that we took from Stand With Us when we collaborated together. So over 500 Israeli refugees, and this is ad was placed, but 100,000. Sorry, this ad was placed in Al Jazeera by our technology, and yeah, we have many examples. This one, yeah. So I hope this answers your questions.
All right. Do we have any other questions?
Thank you for being here with us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, thank you. This has been a very illustrative example of technology, social media, advertising. You guys are crossing all kinds of technology boundaries. Congratulations. It's very bright, particularly the use of AI in isolating your targets and identifying the likely possibilities of a positive outcome. That's really great. I think we should continue a conversation with you fellas, and I'll figure out a way to get some of the information to you on the focus group. I think you might want to chat with them. They might have something to contribute. So
thank you.
If there are no further questions today, we've lasted an hour and a half. That's really great. This program will be up on YouTube. It takes a couple of days for me to get it together, but it will be there in vivid color. And to close out, I'll turn over to Ilana.
To close out? All right. Well, thank you guys very much. I know it's late over there. You're welcome to go to sleep. We're probably going to switch into schmooze mode now. Stay if you'd like. If you want to go, that's fine too. But thanks to everyone who came. And thank you, Hadar. And
we want to end with a prayer and a song.
Great.
Because
perfect.
We're inspired and we want to take the inspiration and actually bring it to a more transcendent place where divine assistance can help break through all the barriers and let the captives free and all the people that are captives everywhere. We feel that the concept of captivity is something that's universal for all human beings. And we would all be nice if we returned home. I return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to you, return to where you are, return to what you are, born and reborn again. Return to you, return to where you are, return to what you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again. Return to the land of your soul. I return again, return to the land of your soul.
Thank you very
Wonderful.
much.
Thank you so much. Todar rabah.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great night.
Bye. Thank you.
Shalom.
Hello,
Shalom.
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 Okay.
Wow. That was some heavy stuff there.
Yeah, they're great.
Wow.